Now, in the last section, we talked mainly about Raleigh's theorem. Now we want to talk about the mean value theorem. What it says is if y equals f of x is continuous on a closed interval and differentiable on the interval's interior, there is at least one point C between A and B at which f of B minus f of A over B minus A is equal to f prime of C. Now, thinking about that left part of that equation there, that is just the slope formula. That's the slope between the point A, f of A, and B, f of B. So what this is saying is that there's some place where the slope of the tangent line is the same as the slope between the 2 points. Now look at this picture between the point A, f of A, and B, f of B. You can see that secant line there. Then at some point between there is going to be a point where the tangent is parallel to that. Now, it could be more than one, but at least one place the tangent is going to be parallel to that chord between A and B. Now, let's look at this example, and let's see how it satisfies this mean value theorem. It is continuous between -1 and 1, differentiable in between -1 and 1. So, if I take the point -1, 0, and 1, 0, and I plug into that formula, which tells us f of 1 minus f of -1 over 1 minus -1, which is going to be f of 1 is 0, f of -1 is 0. This is 1 plus 1 on the bottom. Gives us 0 on the numerator, 2 in the denominator, which is 0. So what this mean value theorem says is somewhere between -1 and 1 there has to be a place where the slope is equal to 0, and it is equal to 0 at 0. Now here's another example. We have y equals x squared in between 0, 0, and 2, 4. And we want to find the place where the tangent line is parallel to that chord between those two. So what we do is we take f of 2 minus f of 0 divided by 2 minus 0. Well, f of 2 is 4, f of 0 is 0, which gives us 4 over 2, or 2. Now what the mean value theorem says is that there's some place between 0, 0 and 2, 4, some point along that graph between those 2 points where the slope is equal to 2. Now if we have the equation y equals x squared, then y prime is 2x. So it's saying that somewhere 2x equals to 2. And so when we divide, that is at x equals 1. So you can see here at the point 1, 1, that tangent line is parallel to the chord between A and B. Now let's look at one more example. This is kind of a real world example. It says if a car is accelerating from 0, takes 8 seconds to go 352 feet. Its average velocity for the 8-second interval is, just take 352 divided by 8, 44 feet per second. So that's its average velocity. What the mean value theorem tells us is that at some point during the acceleration, the speedometer must read exactly 44 feet per second, or 30 miles per hour. The only way to go from 0 to 44 feet per is it has to at some point pass through that average speed.